Steven, do you think after 8 months it's maybe time that I set up my new laptop? You think maybe? It's been about 8 months. I think I'll set it up today.
You know, Steven, with new laptops, there's always a decision to make. Do I start new, or do I sync it with the old laptop, which was synced from the laptop before that, which was probably synced from the laptop before that? It's a rub.
I feel like someone like you should sync it because you don't want to go through the painstaking process of setting up every individual app again from scratch and the entire laptop from scratch. I mean, how long did it take you to set this up?
8 months.
I'm like, hey, did you finish the laptop yet? Nope.
No, I think it came in January or February, and it was just it always seems like a monumental task to get done.
It is.
But no, I sat down more recently and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start this, and this is probably a month or two ago. I'm going to start this from scratch just because I want a fresh start. And what I did is I sat there, and the first thing I did was log into Google, because nowadays most of the things are controlled by Google, and all of the settings are already saved there, and web pages and all of that stuff is already saved. It's the other stuff that you have to figure out. It's like, okay, what apps do I need to download? Well, we know we need to do Adobe. We know we need to do ScreenFlow. We know we need to do, Photo Mechanic, there's really not that many apps that you need to download at this point. But I did realize I forgot my font manager or font book.
It's all the little things like that stuff, yeah. Because I have a ton of extra custom fonts that I've downloaded over the years, and I always forget to re-add them to the new laptop until it's time that I need to use them.
That's one of the things that I did. But what happened is I was ready to set up the laptop. I set it up, and I go to plug it into my OWC Thunder Dock 4 at the time, and I plug it in, and it doesn't control my external LaCie 6-big. It none of it was showing up. So the internet wasn't passing through. Nothing was passing through from the dock to the computer.
And I know with the LaCie drives, the RAID drives at least, you need to have like the driver installed beforehand. But I think
I did that.
You already had that set up, yeah.
Well, I didn't, but then I was like, okay, I need this, so I downloaded it. There's nothing that you should need for the dock, and it just wasn't working. And so I did the best thing, the thing that is the right thing to do is just turn it off and ignore it for a while, because like anything,
just shove it in the closet.
Well, you're just going to get frustrated. And so then I was like, okay, maybe it's the dock. I reach out to OWC because we have people over there, and they're like, well, it should just work. I was like, but it's not, and I know I'm not a moron, so you know what? I'm just going to, and since I'm starting everything fresh, and this is a MacBook Pro M4 Max, and I'm pretty sure we're close to M5s coming out now.
And your old laptop is what, the M1?
M1. It was the first M1 Ultra Max or whatever, Max
Silicon,
Ultra, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I go onto OWC's website, and they have a new Thunder dock. I don't know if it's a Thunder Dock 5 or whatever it's called, but I was like, you know what? I'm starting everything fresh. Why don't I get a new dock? I might as well, because this is a computer that I'll probably use for the next couple of years.
It's Thunderbolt 5 too, so technically it's the latest, greatest. I think even your new laptop is Thunderbolt 5 capable.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, you know what? I might as well get this new one. But there were two different docks. There was one that would power your laptop, and then there was, well, that one was only like $250. And then there's the $499 version, which was the one with the 10 gig internet, multiple inputs for that, but it didn't power the computer. And I was like, well, I'd rather be able to plug in, because I have 2 gigabit internet here. So
you need more than the 1 gig Ethernet port, yeah.
Well, right. And so the one built into the dock wouldn't do anything right. I wouldn't get the speeds. So with the old computer, I had to go buy a new external, just literal 10 gigabit adapter.
Yeah.
And so that's how I could get the 2 gig up. And now, so anyway, I was like, I'm just going to get the industrial version one. I plugged everything into it. I realized I didn't need power because the 6K display that I have powers the laptop. And so I plug everything in, and it all just connected and turned on. And then at that point, it was like easy peasy, ready to go with the new computer.
The OWC docks are great. I have the Thunderbolt 4 dock, the one that you used to have before you upgraded, and I'm a big fan. Simply pop the laptop down, connect it, and everything just turns on. Docks are just a godsend.
Yeah. And the fact that I plugged in, I have the fast internet speed. It wasn't working prior with the other dock. Well, I remember back in high school, we had like the T3 or the T1 line, right, in high school, which was, fast enough at the time. And then,
and now it's T1000, right, for the 1 gig, and then it's something else for the.
I don't even know. I just know that we got the 2 gigabit that I pay for up and down, and I got everything set up. And there's always something you forget, like we said earlier, but I thought that it would help speed up my Lightroom. And I realized that it's not a computer thing. It's a Lightroom thing.
Oh, yeah.
My catalog is how many images are in my catalog? Well, I will tell you, I asked the developer, I have 837,000 files.
I actually thought you'd have at least 1 million at this point.
No, but I asked the guy that ran the development for Lightroom years ago, I'm like, so what do you do? Do you do new catalogs every year? Do you do one big? He's like, we have a catalog with 4 million photos that we use for testing. And I was just like, well, I don't know if they're all raw photos. Who knows? But he's just like, no, yeah. It's built for everything. Because I know that you used to make a new catalog for every shoot, which
I still do,
which makes no sense.
I love it, but I also hate it because everything's super organized on my end. All my project folders are dated and named what the shoot was, but it's not all in one big catalog. But I'm usually not going back and editing 50 different photo shoots at once, so I don't mind it.
But I have to go back, like, for example, the other day,
yes.
What we were doing, we did the review of the 3512 Sigma, and I wanted to use photos from the 3512 version 1. Mm-hmm. So all I need to do is go to the top where I click on all of my photos in the catalog. I go to metadata. I go and I find that specific lens, and it filters to just pictures taken with that lens.
I think if I started fresh at this point, I would do what you did. But back then, when Lightroom 2 was a thing, when I first started, I just didn't know the proper way to really catalog everything. So I would do it per shoot. And it was good and bad because when I do load a catalog up, it's super fast. It's obviously fast because I've got maybe only a couple hundred pictures or a few thousand pictures in a single catalog. But yeah, when it comes to filtering and looking back, I have to individually open every single shoot. So it does become a pain, but I'm not doing what you're doing where I'm constantly going back to multiple different shoots at once.
But also another example is someone reached out to me for a photo, like to ask me if I had something from and I think I talked about this recently, a photo shoot that I did where it was like 2005 and it was a movie set. And I was doing movie set photos, and they're like, "Hey, by any chance, we saw that you were the photographer on this. And this is 20 years ago. Do you have this any photos that are of this particular guy that was talking on set?" And I was like, "I don't know. Let me look." I go into my catalog. I know I have everything organized by year, right? But this one was before I did the year, but I knew the title of the folder I had. I went in, I found the 6 images, exported them and all this took a couple of minutes, and I sent it to them, and they're like, "Wow." And that was because I do have it organized. A couple of years ago, I went and got the hierarchy even better.
Yeah.
So every year, I have a photo story catalog. A photo story folder, and I have 2021, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm ready to start 2026, where all the shoots for that particular year go into that folder, but it's part of a hierarchy. Then I have a Fronos photo folder that has general review photos, and that's in general review photos for like lens reviews, and so I keep it organized. But my biggest concern was, where's my catalog? I thought my catalog was on the external, but I was like, oh man, how hard is this going to be to do to get onto the new computer? And it wasn't. I found the catalog, I copied it onto an SSD, I plugged it into the laptop, dragged it onto the laptop. Boom. The only thing I didn't transfer over was the 60 gigs of thumbnail folders files.
Yeah.
I'll let it recreate all of that.
So what you do in Lightroom is kind of how I have it set up in Finder, or if you're using a PC Explorer, the hierarchy of years, dates, photo shoot, and then I would find that specific photo shoot and then open the catalog from there. But yeah, it's not all in Lightroom. It's more organized in Finder. But again, I wish I set it up from scratch like you have it, so I don't have to go opening 50 catalogs. I will say I'm actually about to ask you for certain Canon photos taken with like the 100 to 300 because we're going to be putting out a behind the scenes tour of the Canon lens factory, and we specifically we talk about how the 100 to 300 was a feat of engineering for them, and we got to make it, and you got to put a lens element in there and all that stuff. And I want to probably showcase some of the photos you took with the 100 to 300 over the years. And that will be easy for you because you can then just go and filter it out.
Yep, Kenya, baseball, all that stuff. Because I already know, and I've used that lens quite extensively.
And there's plenty of times where I've quickly asked you, like, hey, I need photos from this lens over a span of 6 years, or give me your favorite photos ever from this specific camera body, and it takes you like seconds. It's great.
Yeah. So to basically wrap this up, one of the other issues I was having is the 16 terabyte SSD that ProGrade sent me couldn't connect to the old computer for some reason.
Really?
It just wouldn't mount. It would show up, but it wouldn't allow me to use it. And they were like, well, that's weird. And
this is via the dock or straight in a Thunderbolt?
This was straight plugged in.
Huh.
So it was just not showing up. Of course, it showed up on the new computer, but it made it so much easier. I'm moving that 16 terabyte. That is like my archive, my photo archive. I'm transferring again, because what you do every couple of years and every time a new medium comes out is you keep transferring. It went from CDRs to DVDRs to external hard drives and DVDs to no more doing DVDs to just doing external hard drives and a little bit of cloud to then doing SSDs. So I was transferring from a spinny drive to an SSD some files, and it was blazing fast. But SSD to SSD is like stupid. How you could move a terabyte in minutes.
Speaking of that, I literally just moved 1.1 terabytes of data, one of the 300 to 600 Sigma project file, that lens review, which was huge. Again, 1.1 terabytes. I transferred that from my SSD internal to the 8 terabyte ProGrade drive that I have, and it transferred in 9 minutes, I think, or 8 minutes, something like that. It was crazy. I was like, all right, let me do it after work. It'll probably take, 20, 30, 40 minutes. No, 8 minutes.
It's fast. So anyway,
1 terabyte.
The laptop is, knock on wood, is set up for, I would give it 90-some%. I'm sure there's stuff I forgot that I'll have to encounter and figure out. But I basically turned off my old laptop because I like to keep it just in case and not wipe it. And you never know when you need to go back to it. But I basically used the SSDs from ProGrade to plug in and transfer files from one and then put it onto the other because it's just so blazingly fast. And hopefully this keeps me set for a while and I'm good to go.
And setting it up from scratch, it should be significantly faster than syncing everything over from your past 3 or 4 laptops over the years.
It really wasn't that bad. It wasn't.
No, it's just I think you didn't want to deal with it. So every time I would ask you, like, "Oh, did you set it up?" Nope.
No, because I was worried. I was worried about the catalog more than anything.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be pretty easy. But I think part of the thing for me is sometimes you go to do something and you get frustrated, and then you just need to walk away and stop. And then, or if you're running into issues like we did with the dock was the issue.
Yeah. Which is weird. It should work.
But a bunch of months ago, this new dock wasn't out yet. So when I finally revisited it, fresh eyes, fresh brain, got the dock. You came back, you were going to set everything up. I already set up most stuff when you came back from lunch.
Yeah.
And it was like, my brain was clearer at that moment.
I just had to set up your focus right, zoom, audition, like more of the audio stuff, the audio end. By the way, your ScreenFlow, did you ever put the license key in that?
I did. I had to do that yesterday when I had to export something.
Okay. Everything else should be pretty much set for the most part. It might be little things here and there, but I wanted to ask too, your Lightroom catalog, you talk about it being slow. Did you ever try the optimized catalog feature? I'm curious what that really does in the first place.
I think it probably just wipes out your preview data.
Yeah. If it's just that, it should be wiping it out automatically every so many days for you.
But preview data is different. Like, it's constantly building preview data unless you purge it yourself. But I'm pretty, and that mine was up to 60 gigs of previews.
Oh, man.
And the reason you do that is when you go back to when you're working on files, you want the previews, but it really should be like a 30 or 60 day thing. And now there is for one-to-one previews where it will automatically delete after a certain amount of time.
That's what I have it set to. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't ever make one-to-one previews. I just do basic regular previews.
So when you are editing and importing like a brand new shoot, you don't do one-to-ones?
No, I don't do 1-to-1.
So you have to almost wait till it fully renders every single time?
No, I do. It doesn't take forever, and I do all my culling in Photo Mechanic now, which is instant. So
Yeah, I do
go
the
into Photo
library
Mechanic.
module.
I go into Photo Mechanic and I star and tag the ones that I want to edit if there's like 4,000 photos. And I go through that. And so that when I drag that into Lightroom, all of the files show up. But when I hit the 5 stars, only the 150 images that I want to edit show up. So now it's much quicker.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next thing, I wanted to ask you, should I enter the World Sports Photography Award competition sponsored by Canon? Not even Canon USA. I'm told it's Canon Europe.
What does it say? Celebrating the world's finest sports photographers. Definitely not you. The
Debatable.
free-to-enter awards recognize images that capture the passion, raw emotion, athleticism, and focus at the heart of sport.
So I'm anti-competitions. I'm anti-entering
Well,
most
you're
of these.
the best. You don't need to be told that you're the best. You are the
Right.
best.
I already have that in my brain of self-worth. So I usually don't. But they did say, and I'll get into the reasons why I don't like most of the competitions. But this competition said the right thing at the right time. Free to enter.
Yeah.
And I went and read the terms of services. It doesn't say they own your images. It doesn't say any of that shit.
Nothing hidden. Yeah, I was looking to see like, all right, what's the catch? But no,
There
nothing.
is something hidden, Steven.
Oh yeah, what?
What you win.
Oh, I looked everywhere. I can't find a prize. Like,
Can't find a prize
what's
anywhere.
the point of entering if there's no prize?
Didn't find a prize for last year's winners. Couldn't find what the prize is for the. I mean, it should be an R1.
Well, being sponsored by Canon Europe, I would assume it's some kind. Yeah, the flagship camera or flagship lens or both. Something.
But it doesn't have it. Now,
What's the website for this, by the way?
it says worldsportsphotography.awards.com.
Okay.
.com.
Just for those that want to follow along at home.
Infowars.com. Infowars.com. Infowars. That's an old Howard Stern thing against Infowars.
Yeah.
Infowars. Hey, it's Infowars. I told you the frogmen are coming for you. They're going to be taking you. You're going to go, here, I'm selling some Lipotin.
Did you see, by the way,
Infowars.com.
on this website, the World Sports Photography Awards, the amount of judges there are?
No, where do I click on judges?
I can't. There's
3,
152.
6, 9, 12, my 15, 18. Ah, shit, I can't get past 18 and threes. 19, 20, 21, 24, 27, 30, and it just keeps
Keep counting,
going.
man.
And going.
It's about
How?
152.
Who are these people?
That's an insane amount of judges.
That's
I don't
way
know
too
how
many
you narrow
judges.
it down with 152 judges.
They probably give it a rating. This is stupid. I should just go down here and look for women to date.
Judged by leading figures from sport, media, photography, branding, and the creative industries.
I
don't
this
know
one.
really any of these people.
Let me find out who she is and if she's single. Let me get to the Google. Yeah, let me see.
I like this one guy, Tony Duffy. His byline says, ex-photographer.
That's pretty insane, Steven, to have that many judges of a competition. I don't know, man. I looked at some of the winners. Did you look at some of the winners?
I did, yes. Like the big one for the aquatic section last year was that one photo of the guy floating in air with the surfboard that went around everywhere.
Yeah, at the Olympics. Last year would have been a huge entry for
Olympics, yeah.
only Olympics. There's a lot of Olympic photos. What I will say, I'm going to say this. It's a little controversial, Stephen.
No.
It's a little controversial. There are a lot of mid images in there. And then on the flip side, there are some really good images, but the really good ones sometimes aren't even the winners. And I know I'm the arbiter of what's good and what's not. That's why I should just be the sole judge of all competitions moving forward. But there really are some extremely mid, like Bruce Bennett, good friend of mine.
King Cropper.
King Cropper himself. There is a photo they picked for like sports for hockey winner. Let me click on it. The Tiger Woods photo and see what it says. No. There's so many competitions. Okay, I get to the base.
There's cricket.
Well, yeah, but that's because that's world. That's big around the world.
Cycling.
Yeah, that's big too.
Every sport you can think of, yeah.
I'm looking at the gold winner for baseball, and I'm like,
equestrian.
I'm like, this is mid. Most of the baseball photos are just, you know what? It's like none of them are edited properly because most of them are sports shooters that just quickly shoot their JPEGs. Most of those aren't very good. And I say that because there's like no photojournalistic aspect. It's just action. You so happen to catch Shohei Ohtani breaking his bat. Whoop-de-fucking-do with an empty stadium. But, I get to Bruce Bennett's actually, the cycling ones, I think are some of the better ones.
Agreed.
Like I actually think that the special merit first cycling one is actually better than the one that they picked. It's like a blown up building. The guy used a natural frame of broken glass with trees and all the peloton of bikes going by. Did you know a group of bikes is called a peloton?
No, I did not.
That's why Peloton's called Peloton.
Oh, interesting.
Well, that's why I think it's called Peloton. But yeah, those are good. But when I got to the hockey ones, I was like, Bruce's photo, it's called The Shadow, and it's literally just a top-down photo that was done with a remote with a guy passing a puck and his shadow is strong on the ice. Like, to me, there's much stronger hockey photos that Bruce had last year rather than that. So I think some of the categories are pretty mid, and I think other categories, there's some really impressive, like the equestrian has some impressive stuff, but the cycling was certainly impressive.
Did you see the one boxing category, the one photo where it's like they're panning, but they also have frozen action? It's like maybe a catch flash or something. I don't know. Are they allowed to use? I don't know how they took the photo or how they didn't manipulate this photo to look like this. It's like half of the frame is panning and the other half is frozen.
You think it's one of those crystals that you put in front of your lens? I'm trying to think, how would that even be possible?
It looks like a panning, like slow shutter.
It is, but I don't know how they got the one girl frozen and the other girl moving.
Yeah, some context behind the image of what it looks like. It's basically someone hitting the other person, and the other person has like motion blur, but then they're frozen. I don't know how they did this.
I don't. Does it say? So I don't know if there's like a grand prize. Is there like overall? Do you see anything that says grand prize winner? Like I don't see anything that says. Like, is it just each category becomes a winner? Oh, finalists and winners. Winner is like World Sports Photography Award. Okay, I see. I click on winners, but
I think it's from each category.
I think it's for each category. I don't know. It's a pretty lame competition. I don't know. If it's so, the moral of the story is it's free to enter up to 10 images. So I don't know. If it's free, you might as well.
It says submit up to 10 images captured between December 2024 and November 2025 across 24 sports categories. Submissions are free of charge and close on November 24th.
Yeah, you can't get upset with it when it's free. Like, you really can't. On the flip side, I really should start running a competition where you charge. I've been pretty anti the charging for photo competitions. I've been anti the charging for photo competitions, the cheesy ones, right? The ones that you think are important, but they're not. They're just money grabs. And it's like $25 to enter 5 photos. Would you like to enter 10 more? It's 5 more or 10 more. It's another $10. And it's like, so they're collecting $35, $40 from people with the hope that they might win the grand prize, which might be some really nice camera, but they're generating hundreds of thousands of dollars for these awards. And it's basically like a raffle.
Yeah.
It's basically like a raffle disguised as a competition. I mean, it's not what they say it is. I'm sure there are some that are pretty shitty that do just take the money and pick a winner and call it a day and it doesn't matter. But shit, man, like if you've got clout, you could totally run one of these competitions and charge people to, like, you could enter one for free. But if you'd like to enter 5, it's $20. If you'd like to enter another 10 on top of that, it's another $10. And so how many people are going to enter? You'll get thousands of entries for the free one, but you're going to get people who are like, you know what? I want to enter more than one because there's multiple categories, which gives me a chance to win potentially more. And you're like, okay, I might as well play with $30, $40 and send it in and hope that I maybe win one of the prizes.
On that note, introducing the 2025 Fro Awards, $100 per image. You can submit up to 100 photos.
we could make a lot of money doing a print competition.
Oh yeah,
that's judged. I mean, I know plenty of judges. In fact, Stephen, this gives me an idea. Now, I mean, shit. If you can make it $25 and you get 5,000 people to do it. 5,000 people to just enter, like your chances of winning are a lot better than the lottery. But someone's going to win, and you just generated $200,000
If it was $25, that'd be a nice $125,000 paycheck.
right there. And then what do you spend? About 25 grand in prizes? No, there's no other fees other than running the contest web page and getting some software that organizes all of that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be hard at all. So I don't know.
Again, introducing the Pro Awards.
In terms of this contest, they do the things that sound right. Free to enter.
Yeah.
There is no other version of pay more that I could see. Now, I don't know what the prizes are because we can't find them.
What are what's the prize? Is it just clout at that point?
Well,
bragging rights?
Well, I see Bruce Bennett posts about the award, like, or Getty would post that our photographers won these awards.
You should ask Bruce, did he actually receive a prize?
All right, I'm going to call Bruce right now. Hold on.
Yeah. And did he submit an image that was massively cropped?
All right, I just got Bruce Bennett on the line, so I'm holding my orange iPhone 17 up to the mic here. Hey, Bruce, how's it going?
Good, Jared. How's it going, man?
Good. Since we're talking about the World Sports Photography Awards, and I already made fun of you for winning a category with your shadow photo, we can't find anywhere on their website what the prizes are. Did you win a prize?
I sort of did. Let's see. How can I put this? I did win a prize. It was a gift certificate to purchase something at MPB.
Really?
So, yeah.
How much?
So you get a gift certificate, but there's kind of a catch to it where I'd have to spend $100. I'd have to spend $200 to get $100 back. That was my...
What a prize, Bruce. What a great prize.
Listen, I'm a prize, and that was a prize that I wasn't thrilled with.
I guess we now, Stephen and I, figured out why they don't list the prizes.
Well, there you go. Hey, it was nice to get something, but then when I tried to redeem it, then I kept getting error messages, and I finally sent them an email, and I said, I don't understand. I picked stuff worth $82, which was all that I could kind of find in there that I would really desire. And I thought maybe because I didn't go over 100, that was an issue. But then it was explained to me in an email that I had to spend $200 to get the 100 back. So I politely declined the offer.
Wow. Do you even know if there was like a grand prize winner?
I don't know. All I know is for the, the hockey winner that I had. And yes, I was thrilled to have it and happy to win. But, when a prize is no prize, don't even bother.
So will you be entering again?
I will. I like that contest. I think it's kind of cool to go category by category in each sport. I think that's a great idea rather than pitting a soccer photo against a baseball photo against a hockey photo. Doesn't really, I don't know. I think that's kind of tough on judges to try to narrow that down to something they like. And the other thing that happens in a contest like that is they look at it, the judges look at it usually and they go, okay, well, we already have a hockey photo that's in the top 5. So let's not put another hockey photo in the top 5. Let's put something else. So
it's arbitrary.
I think, hockey against hockey or sport against sport works in my book.
So why haven't you ever done the Bruce Bennett Sports Hockey Award thing, photo competition? Because you'd enter and try to win yourself?
Yeah, that would be considered rude. So
it's been done in the industry before. Mm-hmm. We'll leave that name. We'll leave that name out of it right now.
I'm gonna have to go do my homework now on who we're talking about here. But yeah, I'm good. I do like the contest, quite honestly. The prizes are secondary when you win stuff like that, anyway.
Bragging rights.
I was thrilled to get a winner in there.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk on our podcast. And
yeah, man.
Congrats on your photo that I said was mid. Don't go back and listen. I'm like, you have much better photos than the shadow photo.
I do, or everybody
you
else
do.
does?
No, I know you do. I mean, what does the Ovechkin photo fall into that one, or that's for next year?
That's for next year. that's for next year. And, honestly, I look at the Ovechkin photo. It is definitely one of my favorites of all time. But I also have to be careful where you enter a photo like that, because entering that photo into a Europe-based photo contest,
Right.
you just wonder who the judges are. They might just look at it and go, big deal, there's a guy sliding on his belly. who gives a shit?
Let me tell you who the judges are. There's 130 of them.
152.
152, Steven says. 152 judges. They must have different category judges, but that is insane. 152.
Yeah. Look, you and I and everyone who's in photography knows that this is, these contests are very subjective. What one person likes, the other person doesn't like. And quite honestly, to have a bigger pool of judges, not that many, I think is a much better idea than having, the usual 3 to 5 judges trying to narrow everything down. I think you go by consensus when you have 15 or 20 judges, and I think that would be a more realistic judging when you've got majority rules and you're looking at more opinions being put out on the table.
Yeah. All right, Bruce. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Cool, dude. Talk to you sometime. You'll see you down in Philly.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Are you doing hockey? Are you coming down this year?
Yeah, end of October, I got a pair of games, so I'll touch base, and looking forward to it. I was down for Flyer games sparingly last season, so hope to pick it up a little bit more this year.
All right. Well, let me know when you're in. We'll talk then.
Will do.
All right.
See you, man.
See you, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.
Bye.
that prize. Oh,
what a shitty prize! Congratulations! You won $100, but you got to spend 200 to get it.
It reminds me of like the A Christmas Story where he's like decoding the message. And he's like, a crummy commercial about Ovaltine.
Ovaltine.
What a terrible prize.
That's a
why they don't
horrible
list it. But with Canon Europe, though, it seems like this is the first year they're sponsoring it. I would assume it's something different from Canon. I would hope.
I don't know. I don't know how you end up getting that many categories and picking. There should be an overall.
So there is a new dedicated category called the Canon Emerging Talent Award. I wonder if maybe that's the only category that Canon is sponsoring. I'm not sure.
That's stupid.
It will shine a spotlight on the next generation of sports photographers, specifically recognizing young and upcoming talent under the age of 30. Sorry, Jared.
Me.
Under the age of 30 for their unique skill, creativity, and passion in capturing the drama and beauty of sport. The Canon Emerging Talent Award.
Good for you. Good for you. Anyway, it was nice to get Bruce on the phone here. That was just random came up and random that he answered. So it's not random. He always takes my calls. Of course he takes my calls, Steven. All right, let's move on to more sports stuff. I've been shooting the Phillies, the playoffs, the 2 losses that they had. And
not last night.
That's last night. I mean, it's still... It would have been nice to win 1 and then be guaranteed another game 5 at home, which is Saturday, would be after my boot camp. So I would have to go. I wouldn't be able to get there 4 hours early. I would literally get there at game time. But the whole point, if I was to go, if it does go game 5, my goal is the ending. It's the celebration.
Sure.
And I guess someone's going to win. If it goes game 5, I am taking the 4x5 on the field and trying to do the group photo with the 4x5.
Man.
That's going to be my challenge.
You going to just bring the whole boot camp there?
No.
Boot camp at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, for the playoffs. No, it's going to be like if it goes 5, if the Phillies win tonight and it goes 5, then I'm guaranteed that someone is celebrating on the field.
100%.
So if it's the Dodgers celebrating, I'm going to go out there with the 4x5, 400 speed film. I'm going to be pre-thought. I'll already know what my shutter speed's going to be, probably a 50th of a second, not the 30th of a second. And I already know what the lighting is. So I will probably underexpose on purpose I will up the depth of field a little bit. I have an idea for what I want to do, but it's a 50, so I have to back up, and I'm going to try and get the group shot. I'll try to bang out a couple.
Can't wait till
whoever
it's completely back focused.
It might
no
suck.
tilt shift for group photos, please. No tilt shift.
I'll keep the tilt shift off for this one.
Nice and flat. Yep.
But I will tell you, when I did do the golf truest event, I did do tilt chip for most of those, and those do look pretty damn incredible.
But not group shots.
Not for the group shot.
Yeah.
No. But anyway, back to what I took. I took the Canon RF 800 5.6. A couple days before the game, I reached out to Canon and I was like, do you guys have an 800 5.6 laying around? It's only an $18,000 lens. And they're like, yep.
I didn't even know they had an RF version of that. It's such a limiting, like, how many people buy that lens? You know?
Well,
or the 1200?
Well, I had both at one time. Remember, I had an 800 and a 1200 here a couple of years ago when they came out. I took them both to the Phillies games. I thought that I would take the 1200 and be able to put a converter on it, but I couldn't stack. Oh, wait, you could put a converter on it. It was 2400 millimeters. I remember that.
Yeah.
I did 2400 millimeters.
You could do up to 2X, yeah.
Well, I thought that I could stack a 1.4 and a 2X because you could do that with shitty teleconverters back in the day. But anyway, I asked for the 800, not the 1200, because the 1200 is like an F8 anyway. So it's an 800 5.6. I took it out to the first game. I had both teleconverters, chose not to do a teleconverter, even though I tested before the game just to see what the angle would look like. I was like, let me just work with the 8. So I did the whole game with the 800. I did it from the outfield.
Whole game, wow, okay.
Yeah, I got like Shohei Ohtani pitching on the left and the batter on the right. I was able to fit them into the frame. So I did that. Then I moved to my third base dugout right next to the dugout where I was sitting. You could see all my stories or the Instagram reels that I put up, where the reel that I put up that gives you a tour of the shooting spots, and I show you where I sit. And I shot the 800 there. Now, I've always said that when it comes to playoffs, the goal is to show environment and scene. And that's if
not with an 800.
That's if you're documenting for that. I went with a different purpose. I knew that game 1 and game 2 don't really matter.
They're throwaway games. I mean, that's the great thing is you can experiment. You can do whatever you want. You don't need to get the coverage. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose in terms of photos. Like, it's a gamble. It doesn't matter. I think it's great that you have the creative freedom to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I realized before the game I was doing Insta stories those 2 games, and I was getting really good feedback. Like
super interesting. No one ever sees that perspective. Yeah,
exactly. Even though I've done it, people love it every time. And
I've heard it a million times from you, and I love seeing it every single time. I also feel like I learn a new nugget here and there, of information in terms of like where you can shoot and stuff like that, and what they have laid out for you. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and then I realized like the reason I have a Major League Baseball pass is to expand Major League Baseball, the interest, and people show them things that they don't get to see. So it's not like a basic influencer, because they do give passes to some like basic influencers who are like, I'm on the field, ha 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 ha, look at me. Where I'm speaking a different language to you guys out there that you find interesting. They're speaking language like, I'm going to do my makeup on the field with the chalk or something. I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know if they do that. But I was like, yeah, it's not just about the photos I capture during the game. It's about taking people along for the ride. And that's the importance of me having a pass, is I'm able to reach, tens, hundreds of thousands of people by doing stuff like this. And so that was good. I ended up getting a really good photo of Harrison Bader diving for a ball.
Before you get into the photos, talking about the Instagram behind the scenes reels or whatever that you're doing, is there anything that you can't show people? Anything that's off limits? Any secret rooms or anything like that?
No one tells me what not to do.
Okay.
There. I mean, there's
like, what if you happen to get, the Philly Fanatic? Does the Philly Fanatic ever have his head off? Can you see who it is?
Steven, the Philly Fanatic was born that way.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean sorry, their dressing room.
Yeah.
Their dressing room is right across from the normal media room, and it's the Philly Fanatic. It has his logo on the door. But no, the Fanatic never has his hat.
Do you know who it is?
There's a couple of them.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple Philly Fanatics. The original Philly Fanatic has retired.
Yeah, no, I know that.
The guy. But no, there's the main guy. I saw him out on the field before the game without anything on. But I didn't know who it was at first. I was like, oh, that's who it is. And but yeah, no, if they're fun. The Philly Fanatic's fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Like he'll come by, he'll just high five you, and you play along, because literally this is
He's a character.
One of the best mascots in all of sports. It's probably it's a long running great mascot that has a lot
Gritty.
of. Well, Gritty was hated in this city.
Despised.
For 6 minutes.
And now we all love him.
For 6 minutes, Gritty was hated. Like, they announced
Typical
Gritty.
Philly fashion, yeah.
Well, they announced Gritty, and the photos started going around in Philly and the internet, and everybody was like, what the fuck is that? That is not going to work.
Look at the Fanatic. It's like, what is that?
Right. Well, like that is not going to work because they've tried to do hockey mascots in Philly before and they just fail. And so we're like, what is that? That's terrible. That's not going to work. That's the worst thing ever. And everybody was on the same page in Philly. And then the rest of the country started to be like, this is the worst mascot ever. Look at this gross thing. And everybody in Philly was like, fuck you.
How dare you?
Gritty's our mascot. Go fuck yourself.
We love him.
and then that worked. It just worked.
It really did, yeah.
It just worked. And so that's why Gritty got a pass in Philly, is because everybody started hating Gritty. And we can hate Gritty. We can hate on shit, but you can't. You can't.
I can beat up my little brother, but you can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
So the second game, I was like, all right, am I going to use a 1.4 or a 2X? I went with the 2X converter, 1600 millimeters f11. Oh, you know my thoughts on teleconverters.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of teleconverters.
And f11, 16. I mean, what was your ISO? What were you pushing?
At the beginning of the game, 6400, while there was still some ambient light.
That's actually not bad, yeah.
I went to 10,000 as the light went down, and I stopped at 16,000 and did 1/1000th of a second, or 1/1250th of a second is where I was trying to be. Remember, that's longer. Like any shift in movement, it's going to be a problem. But you know what? I didn't even notice how good the image stabilization was and all of that. None of it ever looked shaky. I'm literally, you can look at my pictures on Instagram, framing out the home plate. You have the batter filling the entire frame. It's the batter, the catcher, the umpire, and that's it.
And you're handheld or monopod or what?
Oh, I did the monopod the whole game.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I got into a nice tripod stance and everything.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be that shaky even without the best IS.
No, but if you shift to the left or the right, you lose the frame. And so I did something interesting with the autofocus, is I noticed early on that I use the blue box, which is the continuous autofocus. It finds the eye, it finds the face, it finds the subject, because subject detect is on. And I could be right on the thing, but because of the shift, if the wind blows or someone is banging the ground because they're cheering loud, it sends shocks or vibrations through, and you might shift a little bit. And if you shift, the autofocus might go to the catcher. It might find a fan that might be in the frame in the background.
Yeah, but your depth of field has to be like 15, 20 feet.
Well, it's big. It's big.
I feel like you could just almost do AFS and just pre-focus and call it a day if you're just shooting the batter.
Yeah, well, so I did.
Okay,
Switched. I have a button that takes off and goes into turn servo off, but subject detection is still on. So as the batter gets into the box, it would find his eye, his face, or body. I would focus, and now it's locked in. And then I would just pre-shoot and wait for the action and shoot then. And if they got a hit, I would hit my back thumb, which activated the continuous AF again, and see if I could get another play. So the reason I locked in for single focus is because I didn't want it to shift on me, and I knew that they're not going to move forward or backwards. There's going to be plenty of depth there.
Your critical focus is probably like 5 feet or more. I guarantee it.
Everything worked out really well.
F11, 1600 mil, right? 2X?
F11, 600 mil. Yeah, 1600 2X is F11. Yeah.
Almost infinite focus at that point where you were shooting, what you were shooting.
Yeah, but you could actually get some depth. There were ways I could get depth, but...
And you're shooting down.
On a slight angle from the outfield. I was in left center field.
Okay.
So if it goes to game 5, if the Phillies win tonight to extend it, to bring it back here, I will go back and I will shoot the game from my seat with a regular camera.
With a 2400 mil lens.
No, I'll use the 1:3. I'll use the 1:3 for most things because of the action.
Real way, yeah.
I will. I won't go to the outfield this time. Or maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to the outfield again and still work that if they're going to hit the ball. I don't know, but I know what the pictures look like, so they're not the best. Maybe I'll find a different angle. But I will be prepared at the end of the game, whoever wins the game, to be prepared for that with the 4x5.
Cool.
Okay, let's get to these Canon rumors, and there was Canon and Sony rumors. So I'll just say it. There were 2 dates that Canon rumors announced. There was like the 16th and the 21st of November. They were saying there will be 2 different announcements. Do you want to go into the story here, Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to it. They're basically saying R6 Mark III is coming out, but they don't really have specs. They listed specs a few months ago. They're just saying the R6 Mark III is coming in November with 4 new lenses. That's kind of it. The only thing they have kind of confirmed is that it will have the new 32 megapixel sensor that we saw on the C50, which makes sense.
Well, remember when I did the C50 the video and I put it out, I said in the video that I would guess that this might be the sensor that shows up in the R6 III because it just only made sense.
It really makes sense because they're trying to match the A7 IV. It's Canon's answer, in my opinion, to the A7 IV, nearly matching it. I mean, that's 33 megapixels. This is 32 megapixels. We also found in the C50 shooting photos with that it's a fairly fast sensor. It's about the same readout speed as the R6 Mark II at around 14 milliseconds. But what's kind of disappointing is that it's just a front side illuminated, non-stacked, not partially stacked, no DGO, no global shutter. It's just a standard 32 megapixel sensor. Looks great, but there's no bells and whistles to it. I was kind of hoping that the R3 sensor would come down to the R6 Mark III, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, but on the flip side, when I was shooting with the C50, is that what it's called?
C50,
the C50?
yes, yep.
It was 40 frames a second.
Well, the R6 Mark II is 40 frames a second as well in electronic.
Yeah, but it's just... what I learned is that the majority of the people will never really encounter rolling shutter when it comes to the still images. They just will never know the difference.
Well, and if they give it a mechanical shutter, which I know Canon rumors keeps going back and forth, will it have a mechanical shutter? Will it just be electronic? It's got to be mechanical shutter if it has this slower readout sensor. If it's 12 frames a second, just like the R6 Mark II, and 40 frames electronic, that's fine. I'll take the 32 megapixel sensor all day. I've also always said that 30-ish megapixel sensor range, that resolution is kind of like the sweet spot, especially if it's going to get the same video codecs and frame rates and resolutions as the C50, which is that 7K oversampling and all that.
I'll say the R6 Mark II is still one of the best consumer end cameras that exists in this generation.
Best value camera, yeah.
It really is. Because I have people asking, they're like, should I get an R6 Mark II right now or should I wait? I'm like, well, it's always best to buy the latest unless you can save a shit ton of money. Unless you can get a refurb or a used one for like $1,200, and really get a good steal and invest in the glass. It really, honestly, I'm so far away from the era where I couldn't upgrade a camera. Like I remember I had like a D2H while other cameras were out, that I was just like, what do I do? The D2X was already out. What do I do? And I was just like, I couldn't afford it. So it's not like your camera instantly becomes bad because it's 3 years old and another camera exists after it.
I'm surprised, by the way, that this is just about 3 years old, the R6 Mark II. It feels like it hasn't even been that long since we were on that press trip. But yeah, November is 3 years. It will mark 3 years since it came out.
And that camera has one of the worst pre-capture. That was an early form of pre-capture that was terrible.
And we saw with the C50, that had the new updated pre-capture, which I assume the R6 III will get because it's the same sensor and everything. I question what will the price be? Because it's about, $2,300 for the R6 Mark II, $2,100 on sale, though, right now. Yeah. Will this be, in a post-tariff world, closer to $3,000? Will it be $2,500, $2,600 that the R6 Mark II came out at? We saw a price jump in the R5 II. That's $4,300, where it was $3,899 when the R5 came out. So I'm assuming it'll be closer to that $3,000 price tag.
I really hope it's not.
I hope it's not, too. Because they need to win over that $2,000 entry-level price point.
And then, of course, the tariffs still play a part in all of that, and that's a problem.
And in terms of the body, will it have a newly designed body? Because the R6 Mark II introduced that new body layout that the R5 II kind of has now, where the on-off switch got moved to the right side. They have that new hybrid photo switch, a new lock switch. Will it have like a new screen in R6 Mark III that will then trickle down to the other cameras moving forward? I don't know. Or will it just be the same body that we're used to, which honestly I'm fine with. I do wish, though, it had that 5-axis screen that the Sonys have.
That we kept telling Canon about when we were in Japan.
I've said it many, many times, yes. Yep.
So the refurb EOS R6 Mark II body is $1,900, which for $200 more, you buy a new one at that point. You do that. If that refurb was like $1,499, I'd be like, yep, order that up right meow. That would be a pretty good steal for people.
Adding on to that body, by the way, I'm curious what the slots will be. Will it be 2 SD cards? Because
slots?
if it has the C50 sensor and if it allows for open gate like the C50 does, you need a CF Express B slot. That's what Canon told us with the C50 launch. That's why the C80 isn't getting that open gate firmware update, because it has 2 SD slots. Will this have 2 SD slots like the older R6 1 and 2, or will it now have CF Express B to handle that 6K or 7K open gate?
What are the 4 lenses that they're rumoring?
This one's interesting. A 45 1.2 STM lens, non-L. It doesn't say L. I've never seen a non-L 1.2 lens. And will this be over $2,000 like the 51.2? I find it really odd to have a similar lens like a 51.2 now having a 45 1.2.
I've 45 1.2. It's just like, huh? Where's that coming from?
I've never seen anything faster than a 1.4 with non-L lenses from Canon.
Yeah.
So this seems a little wild to me, but we'll see.
Or maybe it's the modern equivalent of a plastic fantastic, going above and beyond what except for the 51.8 was like a 129 lens when it came out.
Yeah. Yep.
So
they also have the Canon RF 20 to 50 f4 PZ, so more for video shooters with the power zoom. Seems like they're going after the Sony 24 to 50 with that one, except the Sony's a 2.8. This is an f4. Curious what the price is. It's not an RFS lens. It specifically says RF. Again, these are all rumors, so we'll see if any of these actually come to light. And then the long rumored 300 to 600 they say is coming out soon. That's an f4 to 5.6 IS USM lens, which I assume is going to be much smaller and lighter than Sigma's constant f4 300 to 600.
If that is real, that is like the ultimate. You take that on a Safari, even though the 100 to 500 is really good on a Safari, because we've seen it with Troy and Katie's pictures from last year's Safari. But a 3 to 6 is pretty damn incredible range for birders.
Do you wish, though, it was a constant f4? Or would you rather take the smaller, lighter, more portable lens?
Take the smaller, lighter, more portable lens probably at this point.
And I'm curious, what's the price going to be? Is it going to be $6,000 like the Sigma version, but knowing it's Canon and this is a high-end L lens, it's probably also going to be $6,000.
I asked on the Photo News Fix, do you guys think it's going to be over $4,000 or under $4,000?
I think definitely over. What's the 1 to 5 go for?
Isn't that like probably $3,200 because of tariffs?
Yeah, $28.99 on sale right now.
Oh yeah,
and that's
so they still kept it down.
4.5 to 7.1.
That's a good travel lens. It
is.
Really is.
I'm gonna say this is about $5 or $6 grand. And will it have a TC built in, or is it just gonna be a 3 to 6?
No, it won't have a TC. No way. I think the ship sailed on that one.
Yeah.
Quality wise, longevity wise, I don't think it holds up long term.
Would you rather have a 2 to 4 constant aperture lens with a TC built in for
a 200 to 400?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I don't like that lens at all. And speaking of not liking lenses, I love the 1 to 3, except for when people decide to put a teleconverter on it. I yell at people when they put a teleconverter on that lens. Vanessa did it in Africa last year. There's a couple of sports shooters that do it. And I sit there and I ask, basically my justification, why I think it's stupid is you own a 100 to 300, it's a 2.8. That's an incredible lens. The only time, and they put a 1.4 on it, it's like, all right, so now you get up to a 420 millimeter when you're out at 300. But when you pull back at all, if you're at 200, you time that's by 1.4. Was that like a 300?
Yeah. I mean, I would only use it if I had to be past 300 mil.
200 with a 1.4 is only 280 millimeters. So you just fucking shot yourself in the foot at 280 millimeters f4 instead of 280 millimeters or 300 millimeters at f2.8. And I do think you're taking a quality hit. The only time it's justifiable is if you are sticking out at you need that extra reach and you stick to it.
Yeah.
No, it only goes to 300. So if you get that 420 millimeters,
I'm saying if you need more reach than a 300, yeah.
Yeah, you just leave it at 300, but you just shoot yourself in the foot as soon as you pull back to anything less than 300 millimeters at that point. And I just think it's stupid. I just think you just wasted your quality glass. So I wouldn't do it. I'd rather see you crop. I tell people all the time, I'd rather see you crop an image than worry about the teleconverter that is definitely taking away quality. Now, I'll say with the 800 that I used, Was there a quality? Yeah, I think you could see a little bit more grain, but part of it, I was shooting at 16,000.
You could see a good amount of grain, yeah.
But it's 16,000.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal. It was still pretty damn clean at 16,000 on my computer.
I want to know what's the cleanest, highest ISO you can go on an R1, because that is that triple base sensor. So I know with video in C-Log 2, it's 12,800 is that third gain stage. So when it comes to stills,
I should probably ask Canon.
We can do a cap test and figure it out ourselves too.
Oh, all right.
I think I might have done it already. I just don't remember. I know I did it for video. I don't recall if I did it for stills or standard Rec 709.
I thought about that at the time, but I try not to think too hard about that because in most situations, you'd never know the difference.
Video you would, but not photos.
In video.
Yeah, video
you
would just because it's photos. Moving noise. But yeah, obviously still it's different. So this last lens that they're rumoring is a 24-70 2.8L IS VCM, which I find kind of odd because this is not, I don't think this is going to be a replacement for the current 24-70. It seems like it's a different lens because it's the VCM focusing motors.
Yeah, it seems like an addition to the
VCM line. Yeah,
you know that would add that aperture ring. And,
well, I'm assuming it's going to be internal focusing too because it's part of that VCM more video centric, more hybrid lens. So you could put it maybe on a gimbal. I don't know. I do find it kind of odd though because they have the 28-70 IS STM lens already, and then the 24-70 L version. Where does this kind of fall?
I don't think it's replacing the L, but we'll have to see if they're real. And
it is. It says 24-70 2.8L IS VCM.
Okay, but how's that different than what's currently out?
It's a VCM, not USM, but yeah, there's really no difference.
Maybe it's a replacement.
That's what I'm wondering. Is this a version 2, or is this a completely separate VCM line where it's going to be like internal focusing, more video? Yeah.
Don't know. We'll have to see if the rumors are true.
And then speaking of rumors, the A7 IV, this one's been long rumored forever. We're going over 4 years, right?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention too much.
So your favorite website, Sony Alpha Rumors, is saying that the A7 IV has been registered in Indonesia and that it will be a Q1 release. So most likely an announcement later in the year. They also have a leaked image of it, apparently, and it's showing that it has the same 33 megapixel sensor. We don't know if it's a tweaked one or if it's a partially stacked version of it. Knowing Sony, I guarantee this is the same 33 megapixel sensor that the A7 IV had. That same fairly slower readout that was like 28 milliseconds, like double what the R6 Mark II was. They're saying it will have kind of what we expected. It'll have the latest AI chip. It'll be a new body design, basically that A7R5 body design that we all love at this point with that new four-way articulating screen. And it will go for about $3,000 is what they're saying. Now, I think Sony will do what they always do, and they will continue their trend of basically making an S in between slightly refined version of the predecessor, the A7 IV, and they'll call it a whole new camera, the A7 V. They've done it already with almost every single release. The A7R2 and 3 was pretty much the same internals with a new body design. The A7R4 and 5, same thing. The A1 and the A1 II, same thing, but slightly updated. A7S2 and A7S3, A9 and A9 II. And I bet now, like I said, the A7 IV and 5 will be same guts, newly refined body, and some slight updates like the AI processor and that kind of stuff. So I think we'll have to wait until the A7 VI comes around for the big new updated version of the A7 line. Because again, Sony does not change sensors. They always let it go 2 generations until they switch things up.
We'll see what happens. That wraps up the rumors of the episode. Yeah, I think that's about it. I got to prep the studio for the boot camp, which is on Saturday. And if the Phillies win and the game is here, we will finish the boot camp at the time we always finish the boot camp, and then I will go down to the stadium. I'll have usually I want to be down there 4 hours early, but it is what it is. I scheduled it this way, and hopefully I have to worry about it tonight when the Phillies hopefully win, if they win, and then I'll be prepared. I'll have my bags and film loaded and ready to go, and just leave right after boot camp.
But Jared, I have one more question. Get out.
Fuck off.
I need to get to the game.
Shitty question. Next question. Fuck you. You know what's the worst question ever that I get via email?
What camera should I buy?
No, it's the worst question ever, Steven.
What is it?
Hey, would it be all right if I ask you a question?
Oh.
And then they don't ask the question. I will not email you back and say, sure. You just wasted, not saying you wasted my time, but you got my attention. I opened the email only to see that the email says, can I ask you a question?
That's it?
You should have asked the fucking question.
Yeah, that's weird.
Just ask the damn question. Keep it quick, concise, to the point. But don't ask if it's okay if you ask me a question. That's so stupid. Let's wrap it up. Is this 172?
172, yeah.
You could still text us at whatever the number is. It's down below. And I know Steven's looking for the number. It's 313
313-710-9729.
Yeah.
And you can also leave ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can comment on Spotify too.
Yes,
and
you
YouTube.
can. People have been doing it.
Yeah.
And it's on YouTube as well. So, all right. I'm going to wrap it up. Got to go do a bunch of stuff. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Jared, PolinFrontosPhoto.com. See ya.
Bye.